What's going on, everybody? Josh McCarty from Bills Chat here with the Day 2 Bills Training Camp recap. You know the drill here. In less than 5 minutes, we will recap everything you need to know about what happened at Bills practice today. Let's get into it. I think the biggest story of the day today was again on the offense, and this time it was Curtis Samuel who stole the show. He was lining up all over the formation, even sometimes in the backfield, and that's kind of what a lot of us envisioned for Curtis Samuel when he did come in via free agency. Remember, he spent some time with Joe Brady in 2020 back in Carolina, and he had one of his most productive career or seasons as a pro, getting more than 1,000 yards total, some rushing mixed in there, I think 800 yards receiving. But when you think about Curtis Samuel's skill set, and I know you see that 4.3 speed, you really almost have to think of him like a Deebo Samuel-esque player, where you want to manufacture touches for him, get him the ball in space and let him go to work. He does have the ability to get open, create separation, but he really is a versatile weapon. And at least so far, and especially on day 2 of camp, it's exciting to see that the Bills certainly have a plan, which you would expect when you saw the contract they gave him to bring him in. So he's certainly going to be a big part of this offense. And this offense as a whole, there's a lot of motion going on here. I know Anthony from Cover One, who's been doing a great job covering it. If you're not following him, make sure you are on Twitter. He did a great job breaking down some of the pre-snap motion the Bills are doing. I encourage you to go to his feed. I don't want to steal his stuff here, but it sounds like Joe Brady certainly has a plan for this offense and getting them in position to attack the defense in unique ways that we frankly haven't seen in a while around here. Big day for defensive lineman Dawaune Smoot, as he actually got work on that first team defensive line unit at times. That's an important role for the Bills. I know we talk about Greg Rousseau and the Bills brought back AJ Epinesa and hey, what's going on with Von Miller? But we know how much the Bills like to rotate their defensive ends. That fourth defensive end, that Shaq Lawson role, if you will, is going to be an important piece on this defense. And it certainly seems like whether when you looked at his contract and realized all but about 270 of it, 70,000 of it was fully guaranteed, that he had the upper hand in that bottom end of the roster defensive end battle. I think he's a roster lock. The fact that he's already working with the first team makes me think so as well. And then I think maybe you have one spot left, maybe for someone like Solomon, the rookie, to grab, or maybe Kingsley Jonathan has a big camp. But I think Dawaine Smoot's going to be a big part of this defense. He's going to be active on game day. And it seems like right now they hold him in high regard. Interesting competition shaking up on the backup offensive line. As we saw today, Alec Anderson and Will Clapp take turns in the second unit, rotating from center and guard. That's interesting to me because when you look at the Bills draft, in the 5th round, they got Cedric Van Pran Granger, who by a lot of accounts was a steal at that point in the draft. He played center. He can play guard in the NFL. I think, in my opinion, the Bills have one roster spot for 2 players between Alec Anderson and Will Clapp. Whoever wins that job is going to be the Ryan Bates this year, the veteran backup interior offensive lineman, whether it's a guard injury, whether it's a center injury, that's going to be their job. And then I think Cedric Van Pran Granger is going to be brought along a little slower with the goal of him growing into that by next year. Now, maybe he hits the ground running and he's great and he's ready to roll right now. But I think the Bills would like a veteran in that spot. So I think they're going to take a long look at Anderson and Will Clapp this camp. My money would be on Alec Anderson. He's been in the system with Aaron Kromer for a few years now. I know they're really high on him, but I think only one of those guys makes the team. And I don't think there's any risk of Cedric Van Pran Granger missing out on this roster, despite the fact that he's currently working with the third team. I think that's by design to get a longer look at those guys. Not too much happened today. They were fully healthy going into practice. Chase Claypool was back on the field after a little bit of a scare. I know at one point Cam Lewis got dinged up. Speaking of Cam Lewis, there was another shakeup with defensive backs as Mike Edwards was in the starting unit first team in place of Damar Hamlin. We hit on that yesterday. Do not read too much into Damar Hamlin being first team on day one. It's day one. Mike Edwards missed a lot of the spring. I firmly believe the 2 starting safeties for the Bills against the Cardinals, barring injury, are going to be Taylor Rapp and Mike Edwards. Perhaps Cole Bishop has something to say about that. The Bills are obviously high on him. They took him in the 2nd round, but as it stands right now, those 2 would have the leg up. Cole Bishop's going to make this roster, and then it really comes down to either D. Delaney or Damar Hamlin for that 4th spot at safety. That's about it for day number 2. The Bills are back on the field tomorrow for practice number 3. The pads are not on yet. I would anticipate that after the off day on Saturday, they either come on Sunday or Monday. That's when you can really start getting into some of these trench battles going on and get excited about some of the things going on with guys like Ed Oliver, Spencer Brown, etc. But until then, I am Josh McCarty. I will talk to you next time on Bills Chat Quick Chat.